Hey, everybody, and welcome to the True Alien Podcast. I'm Adrian Smith.
Hey, everyone.
And with me, as always, is the awesome Julia Jones.
It's great to be back.
We're diving headfirst into the world of aliens.
Abductions.
UFOs.
Bigfoot, you name it.
We're bringing you true stories, the weird, the wild, and the downright extraterrestrial every single day.
Yeah, we're going to try to have some fun with it, too.
Absolutely, while we figure out what's fact and what's fiction.
Right, because sometimes truth is stranger than fiction.
Hit that rate button and follow the show so you don't miss out on our daily dose of alien adventures.
We'd really appreciate that.
All right, for today's paranormal probe, we're going north.
To the great white north.
The beautiful
and sometimes spooky
wilderness of Quebec, Canada. We're talking fiery crashes,
mysterious lights,
shadowy government conspiracies, all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, this one has it all. This story might just make you question everything you thought you knew about our place in the universe.
Ooh, I like it. So let's set the scene. Our main character is a biologist, Dr. Elias.
He's hanging out in his secluded cabin.
Deep in the Quebec wilderness.
Middle of the night.
It's freezing cold.
And suddenly, this ear-splitting crash practically throws him out of bed.
Now, when you think crash, you probably picture twisted metal.
Smoke.
Yeah, a burning engine, right. But this is where it gets a little weird. What Dr. Moreau finds isn't your typical wreckage. It's a crater.
Of this shimmering,
almost iridescent
black glass. And at the bottom, pulsating turquoise lights.
Okay, hold on. So we got a mysterious crash, a crater made of something that doesn't look like it belongs on Earth.
Right.
And these freaky lights that seem to be moving around with a purpose.
Like they have a mind of their own.
I don't know about you, Julia, but I am officially intrigued.
As you should be. And it gets even better because a team of, let's just say, highly prepared individuals shows up.
Hazmat suits.
Oh, yeah.
Serious weapons.
The whole 9 yards.
Okay, this is getting interesting.
Leading the team is Dr. Anya Petrova, an astrobiologist, and she is not there to make friends.
So they lock down the area.
Immediately.
Start demanding answers from Dr. Moreau.
It's obvious the government's taking this very seriously.
But even Dr. Petrova, with all her scientific knowledge, is totally baffled by what happens next. Those lights start getting organized. First, it's a vertical line, then 2 horizontal lines.
Like a very basic symbol.
And then they form the mathematical constant
pi.
Come on. How do you explain that with swamp gas or weather balloons?
It's a pretty clear sign that we're dealing with something intelligent.
Right.
And this is where the story takes a turn that might surprise you. There's also Zoe, a young Indigenous woman from a nearby reservation.
Okay.
And she has a gift, this ability they call the sight.
The sight.
It allows her to perceive things beyond the normal human senses.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating. So Zoe, she's got some stories to tell, right? Stories about strange lights in the woods, passed down through generations of her people.
Stories that maybe start to make sense in light of what's happening at the crash site.
It's like we've got science and ancient wisdom going head-to-head, trying to unravel this incredible mystery.
It really is a fascinating clash of perspectives.
Yeah, we've got Dr. Petrova, representing science and reason.
Demanding hard data and evidence.
And there's Dr. Moreau, our biologist, caught in the middle.
Trying to reconcile what he sees with everything he knows about the natural world.
And then there's Zoe, urging them to listen to the whispers of the forest.
The wisdom of ancient traditions.
It's like a real-life paranormal probe.
And remember, the clock is ticking.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Petrova is racing to analyze the signals coming from the lights.
Trying to decipher this alien language.
Meanwhile, Dr. Moreau is back in his makeshift lab, staring through his microscope at samples of those glowing organisms.
No. What's he seeing?
What he's finding is baffling. No DNA,
Wow.
no recognizable cell structure. It's like they're made of pure energy.
Hold on, you're telling me these creatures, they're not even made of matter?
It seems that way.
Okay, so we got scientists baffled by alien biology.
Ancient stories coming to life.
And let's not forget the military presence looming over everything.
Oh, yeah, the military reparent. Enter General Tremblay, the guy in charge of this whole operation.
He seems pretty serious.
It's deadly serious. He gives our scientists 1 week.
7 days.
To figure out what these lights are and if they pose a threat.
And if they can't?
Let's just say General Tremblay's idea of a solution involves a lot of firepower.
Not a lot of patience.
Not a lot of patience.
So the stakes are officially raised. It's a race against time with the fate of, well, maybe even humanity hanging in the balance.
What a story.
It's incredible. And to think, this is just the beginning.
Oh, there's so much more to come. Buckle up because things are about to get really wild.
Welcome back to the True Alien Podcast. So we left off with our team in a race against time, General Tremblay breathing down their necks and these glowing creatures defying the laws of biology. Talk about pressure. But then Dr. Moreau has this breakthrough. He figures out those fractal patterns, the ones that seemed random, are actually a map.
It's a pretty amazing realization, right? Imagine an alien civilization so advanced they can embed a map into a light display. But the big question is,
Where does this map lead?
exactly, is it a map to their home planet? A distress signal? A cosmic treasure map? The possibilities are endless.
Endless possibilities. And speaking of possibilities, Dr. Petrova, our resident coding genius, steps up. Remember, she's been trying to crack the code of those alien signals.
Right.
And now with this map in hand, she starts putting the pieces together.
And you see, Dr. Petrova isn't just dealing with basic code here. She's looking at gravitational equations.
Whoa.
Biological blueprints, even ancient symbols that Zoe shared from her people's stories. It's like she's deciphering some kind of cosmic Rosetta Stone.
That's incredible. They're piecing together this giant intergalactic jigsaw puzzle. And what's the picture?
Well, it's not just fascinating, it's kind of terrifying because they realize this message isn't just random symbols, it's describing an entire star system.
Hold on, an entire star system. Are you serious?
Think about that for a second. They're not just dealing with a random alien encounter. They might have stumbled onto a roadmap to another civilization's home.
That is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
We've gone from, are these lights dangerous? To, could this be the key to the universe? In like a week.
Exactly. And this discovery raises so many more questions than it answers. Why are they reaching out? Are they friendly? Are they seeking help? Or is this, like you said, a prelude to something more sinister? First contact or alien invasion. It's enough to keep you up at night.
No kidding. It's like living in a sci-fi thriller with a little mystery and maybe some cosmic horror. But just as they're getting close, thinking they're on the verge of another breakthrough, everything changes.
Everything changes.
Why not?
It's a moment of pure chaos. And to be honest, it's hard to even describe. Okay, imagine this. The containment field that's been holding those lights, keeping them contained, suddenly collapses inward.
Inward.
It's like some invisible force is pulling it from the inside out.
Oh man, I knew something bad was going to happen.
And then this surge of energy, unlike anything they've ever seen, rips through the command tent. Pure chaos. Scientists are thrown to the ground, equipment smashed, and when the dust settles, there, standing in the middle of it all is...
What? Don't leave me hanging.
Something not from this world.
Wait, are you saying they came face to face with an alien?
Not exactly the little green man you might be picturing. This entity is more like a towering column of that swirling turquoise light, the same from the crater. Beautiful in a way, almost mesmerizing, but also undeniably terrifying.
Okay, so they see this alien being made of light, and then what?
Things go from bad to worse. Remember General Tremblay? Always cautious, always suspicious.
Yeah.
Well, he sees this being, this unknown entity, and reacts instinctively. He pulls out his weapon and fires.
No way. He shoots at it. Talk about a bad idea.
You can almost understand his reaction, right? Fear, confusion, the pressure.
Yeah.
It all boils over. But what happens next? It's a catastrophe.
Okay, Julia, you can't leave us hanging like that. What happens when he fires? Does he hit it? Does it fight back?
The bullets pass right through the being like it's a ghost. But that act of aggression, that violence, triggers a reaction. The being doesn't die, it explodes, not in a fiery way, but it disintegrates. Thousands of those tiny motes of light scattering, and then the earth starts to tremble. Not a normal earthquake, but this unnatural rhythmic pulse like a heartbeat that makes everyone sick.
This sounds really bad.
Yeah.
Like War of the Worlds bad.
It might be, because in that moment, Dr. Petrova realizes they made a terrible mistake. Remember how we talked about the alien message being like a calibration?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't finish deciphering it before General Tremblay opened fire. They interrupted the calibration, and now they've provoked a reaction they don't understand. It's like they were tuning a giant cosmic instrument and someone just smashed it with a hammer.
Oh man, they didn't just open Pandora's box, they kicked it down a flight of stairs. So what happens next? What do they do?
They know one thing. They need to get out of there fast. Their only hope is to find somewhere safe, somewhere they can regroup and figure out how to fix what they've broken. And Dr. Moreau knows just the place. Remember those stories Zoe was telling us about? The ones passed down through her people.
Right, yeah.
Well, there's one story in particular that keeps coming to mind. A story about a place called the Talking Circle.
The Talking Circle, the place where the veil between worlds is thin. The place of power.
Exactly. It's a long shot, but their only shot. They need to get to the Talking Circle, and they need to do it now.
Hmm?
But there's a problem. General Tremblay and his soldiers, they're not just going to let them walk away. They're considered rogue agents now, a threat to national security.
Right.
So they're on the run, military hot on their heels, the fate of, well, maybe everything, hanging in the balance.
Okay, this is intense. I need to know what happens. Do they make it to the talking circle? Can they stop whatever it is they've unleashed? Welcome back to the True Alien Podcast. So last time we were on the edge of our seats, our team was making a desperate run for this place called the Talking Circle, this sacred site, shrouded in mystery, a place of power where the line between worlds is thin.
Right. And let's not forget, they're not just racing against time, they're running from the military.
It's like something out of a movie. They reach this ancient talking circle, bathed in this eerie violet light. You can practically feel the tension, like the world is holding its breath.
It's more than tension. The earth is groaning beneath their feet, the air crackling with energy.
What's happening?
Remember the alien message, the calibration?
Yeah.
Dr. Petrova thinks they need to complete that calibration, to disrupt it somehow, to stop whatever's coming through. But they need the last piece of the puzzle.
And that's where Zoe comes in, right? With the site and those ancient stories.
Exactly. Those stories that were dismissed as myth now hold the key. Zoe, with her unique perspective, sees the final element isn't just a symbol, it's something bigger.
Bigger how?
She calls it a summoning.
A summoning. Okay, now that doesn't sound good at all. What are they summoning, Julia?
Well, as if on cue, they come under attack. Not by soldiers, this is something else.
What is it?
These spectral figures, formed from that crackling violet energy, start to materialize.
Like ghosts.
Intangible, but clearly hostile.
Closing in fast.
Okay, so we've got a scientific crisis and now a paranormal attack. How do you even fight ghosts?
Dr. Petrova uses what's left of the containment field to fight back. Buys them some time. She's trying to crack the code to figure out how to stop the summoning, and then it clicks.
She figures it out. This is it, the climax, tell me everything.
The message contains coordinates, but not to a place on Earth.
What then?
Coordinates to a frequency, a cosmic address.
Like a doorway.
The summoning was meant to open that doorway, allow something else to enter our world. I'm getting chills, Julia. It's like a Lovecraft story. And they're being attacked by energy ghosts. The Earth is breaking apart. The military is probably right behind them.
It's chaos. General Tremblay's soldiers arrive, open fire on these figures, trying to hold them back, but it's pandemonium.
Do they do it? Do they stop whatever's coming through?
Zoe steps forward right into the chaos and starts to sing.
Sing. What?
An ancient song passed down through generations, a song of power.
Hold on. You're saying an ancient song is going to save the world?
It sounds incredible, I know.
Yeah.
But as she sings, the energy shifts, like reality is being rewritten. Dr. Petrova scrambles, disrupts the signal, scatters those coordinates, and the light from the sky fades. The earth stills, the figures vanish.
They did it. They actually stopped it. What a story. It's a reminder that those old stories, the ones we think, are just myths.
Right.
They hold a power we can barely imagine.
It's what makes it so compelling, this clash of science and spirituality, ancient wisdom and modern tech.
And it reminds us that even when everything seems lost, there's hope, a chance to fight back. This has been a roller coaster of emotions. But that's the True Alien Podcast, right? We dive into these mysteries.
And sometimes come out the other side with a new perspective.
And maybe some existential dread.
That, hey, it's all part of the fun, right?
That's right. Keep those eyes on the skies, everyone. Keep those minds open, because the truth really is out there. Until next time, stay curious.
And don't forget to rate and follow the True Alien Podcast.